Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 60, and we are back for a big moment in this save. We've got a cup quarter final today against Villa, but at the end of a big run of games where we may have to rest a few. And then we face Leicester in the Premier League at the start of a festive fixture list, which includes Burnley in 3 days' time, Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. But weirdly, no games in between. It's almost like we've got a winter break. We are in a crucial scrap though, as you can see in the Premier League. Liverpool have had a poor start to the season. They've replaced their manager and are now on the up. So it looks like it's between us and their city rivals Everton for the final European spot, depending on who the cup winners are, of course. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on today, whether we can get closer to a cup semi-final, try and wrap up Europa Conference football by winning the Carabao Cup, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. This side continues to defy the odds, as does our Hemel Hempstead one. We had just about the worst episode you will ever see yesterday. Even if you're not following the series, please do go and check it out because it basically led to a mini mental breakdown. It was that bad. So please do give it a try. You can find a link to it in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the food channel too. But thank you so much for your incredible support as we get into some big games. But first, we've got to have a look at the schedule because we've had sort of a bit of a difference this year where the squad has been bigger and where players have been signed in the summer. And I criticised Dougie for a bit of it, making us a bit overloaded in certain positions, but he's been proven right. And we've now got a situation where we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 different players on a bench every game that can come on and be the hero. So you were with me for Newcastle and Arsenal. We've played 6 games since. We've had a heavy defeat, a draw, and a few very narrow victories. And as you can see, bar Swansea, who are right near the bottom, every game has been won by the odd goal. It is narrow margins at the moment. We started with a 3-2 win against Everton. We were 2-1 down with 15 to go, but then Chris Mepham from a corner and Tyrese Campbell with the goals. Rios and Morcio on the wings making a massive difference off the bench after Diego Lainez had got an early tap-in. A 3-0 defeat at home to United, no shocks there. But look at the players, Fernandes, Mbappe and Adeyemi. It's going to be hard to compete with them if you're any side. Into December though, a 1-0 victory against Fulham. And just to prove the point, Chris Tipple, super sub off the bench with the winner. We had a really good display defensively there too, particularly the fullbacks, and Rosic, the sub-keeper, has been in every game since the last episode. And it might be Grabara's comeback tonight, but he's done a brilliant job since he's been in the team. Swansea away the week after, a slightly more comfortable victory. Well, the scoreline was, but it wasn't a great start. Batalla put them up in the first minute. Thankfully, Tyrese Campbell cancelled it out quickly. Lainez got 2. One of them set up by Castrovilli, the substitute. And again, people coming off the bench and making a difference. The same happened again against Villa. Diego Lainez with a late goal after Chris Tipple's early thunderbolt. Ollie Watkins got both for Villa. And Tyrese Campbell out injured for that game, but not hugely missed, it's got to be said. Against West Ham though, he came back in style. He was on the bench to protect him from injury. Abdul Qadir came back in from the start. And look at the difference it made. 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go. And yet again, we came back. Even looking at the lineup for that game though, the likes of Tormena and Mitchell at fullback areas, Castrovilli and Morcio all coming into the team, Reece Nelson off the bench set up the winner. He'd barely played the month before. We've got so many game changers at this football club. And I think Dougie Freedman probably deserves more credit than he's getting because we were a bit harsh in the summer and he's actually done a very good job. Maybe not for the long term, but certainly for the here and now. What it means is we can get into this Villa game with a real opportunity of reaching the semi-finals. We do probably have to play reserve or backup players because the priority is 7th place in the league. Because the money that comes with that, the European football, is something special. In terms of the League Cup, it will be Chelsea or Everton into the semi-finals to join Leeds and Newcastle. Championship Leeds beat Manchester United. Newcastle battered Preston of the Championship. I'm looking at that and thinking if Everton win, on league position we might be favourites. Do we have to go for it a bit more? Look, we're going to see who's fit. We're going to make a judgment on that. The truth be told, the first team is going to have to miss one of the games against Leicester or Burnley. So what harm is it if it's the first one? Let's go and get our lineup pick. We'll see who's match fit. We will probably have a return for Grabara in goal. We'll be back in a minute to run through the 11. Well, I've gone a little bit mix and match today because some players played really well at the weekend. The likes of Mitchell was a superstar, so he'll stay in ahead of Teo. We've also got Abdul Kadir, who played well. So Rios, been a bit of a mixed bag. He's not coming back in either. That was his first goal of the season, by the way. Abdul Kadir, not had the greatest start to the year. The rest of them are back in though. And Ndombele, who's had a brilliant season. Lanez, Tyrese Campbell, all look superstars. Jaden Bogle at right back too. And making his first appearance since the last episode, Kamil Grabara. He has got himself back fit. He was really good for us early in the year. So let's see what he's like tonight. Crystal Palace v Aston Villa in a League Cup quarter-final. If Chelsea go out or we avoid them in the semis, we've got a great chance at the final. Our 11 in full is Grabara in goal, Bogle and Mitchell the fullbacks with Mepham and Lenormand as centre-half. Zaha and Ndombele and Boya the midfield three. Boya's actually been quite poor recently, so I'm going to have a little chat with him. I'm just going to discuss, I don't know if it's because the transfer window's coming up, or if he's maybe just lacking in confidence, maybe he's a little bit unfit. I'm going to say, come on, we can get a goal out of you. And hopefully he delivers tonight. He is wanted with that release clause as well, so we've got to be careful with that. The front three, Abdul Kadir, Lanez and Tyrese Campbell. The League Cup semi-final, the place up for grabs. Let's go and get into the game against Villa, who we drew against in the league last week, and see if we can get ourselves through. Well, it's 5 changes for us, and it's 5 changes for Villa. Dwight McNeil, Samare, Zamura, Sorinola amongst those coming in. It's a great side. They've still got Buendia. They've got Douglas Luiz still. Great squad. I'm pleased to see Ollie Watkins on the bench because he was the best player last time. Likes of Pasalic, Dennis Sirkin, another Juninho there too. So a lot of good players to choose from for Villa. They might have a little bit of an impact from the substitutes bench. But we're going to ask the lads to prove a point. Let's try and get the job done in the first hour. Because the way we've been playing this season, I'm actually almost quite excited going in this. I don't expect to lose. I don't worry about losing. But of course it is a possibility. Let's see if we can book a last 4 place. Well, after all of that, a pretty quiet start. 12 minutes in though. And it's the usual threat. The set piece. Abdul Kadir with a beautiful curling ball to the back stick. Lenormand the summer signing heads in. And look, I've got to be honest about Dougie Freedman this year. I said about Ndombele in January, about Lenormand in the summer. Yes, they're good players, but were they necessary? And they cost a bit much. They've been 2 of the stars in the last couple of months. So I owe him another apology there too. I'm glad he got a new contract in the end as Buendia gives it away to Lanez. Can we start to run riot? We've been so good going forward this year and we counter at massive speed as Boya. Back to Jaden Bogle, who does well to trap that. Goes for the shot just wide. Villa giving us space, looking a little more tired. And while this may come back to haunt us against Leicester at the weekend, I won't mind if we're in the semi-finals. As there we go, mopping up at the back. Lenormand doing really well. Goes back to his keeper Grabara. Gets a good touch to Tahar and Ndombele. He can play wide, but instead goes short to Mepham and Mitchell. To Lanez. Up towards Tyrese Campbell. Holds up well. Boya and Abdul Kadir running off him. It is the latter who keeps it out wide. Abdul Kadir to the byline. Crosses in. Don't think he was the latter actually, but it falls for Lanez on the left. The cross slightly overhit. Lanez delivers again though. That one's perfect. And we gave Selian Boya the little boot up the backside. Come on, get yourself a goal. And what's he done? He's got himself in the 6-yard box and planted a firm header into the top corner. Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. And unless they bring Watkins off the bench, I feel this could be plain sailing. Well, I don't want to speak too soon because Villa have got a corner and Buendia, I'm sure, will have a good delivery. Into the back post. That's a great ball in. Pop off with a bullet header. The one man that came into the team today we didn't mention for Villa. And he scored a great one there. 2-1. Game on. And we're back almost immediately as Douglas Luiz and Samare keep the ball in the middle. It'd be criminal to go in level here. We've got to hold out. Maybe we can nick the ball high again. Samare wide to Sorinola and Dwight McNeil. Into him again, underlapping fullback there. Samare back out wide. McNeil cutting in on his left foot to Sorinola. And Samare, it's lovely football. Not going anywhere at the minute, but they're sucking a few players in and they've just got to play that one in behind. If they get it right, we could be in all worlds of trouble. Though McNeil goes all the way back to the keeper. Pop off the goal scorer. Wide to Zamura. Brilliant young fullback. Destined for the Premier League in real life. He's made it here. As Datro goes back to Douglas Luiz. Over to Zamura. We're chasing him wide. Lenormand's been dragged out. And it's a poor ball to come for. The keeper gets caught. That's rustiness. It's 2-2. And we're 5 to half time. We were proven wrong. We were celebrating a semi-final place and it was nowhere near. Aston Villa, a team of real quality. Now we need to find ourselves a way back into this match as Bogle plays back to Lenormand. Can we regain the lead before half-time? Not with a ball like that. It's straight through to the keeper. Been a really good game, but it has got to be said this year, we've not been that strong defensively. We've generally outscored teams. You've seen a 4-2, a 5-3, a 3-2. And the games are always narrow as Abdulrahman's in. The offside flag has initially saved us, but I think he was on. We've got VAR. I've got a feeling this will be awarded. And that is comeback complete for Villa. It is terrible defending, but we get away with it. I was wrong. 2-2 it remains. What a poor finish to the half. Let's go and give these lads a kick up the backside. We're going to tell them that they need to prove a point. Put on a proper show. Hopefully they respond. Well, 10 gone in the second half. We've got a few problems with fatigue. The wingers, most notably, and Boyer. But Mepham's playing out from the back, and it would be lovely if we could get the lead again before making changes. Down the line from Mitchell to Lannes. Back to the edge to Ndombele. Not had his best game. Into Campbell. It's blocked back to Boyer. And with the simplest of headers into an open goal, Selly and Boyer makes it 3-2 Palace. Now, don't let the lead relent this time. He's not great in the air, Selly and Boyer, as far as I know anyway. He's not 6 foot. He's not got the best jump. But he scored 2 headers, and that is all I care about as Grabara plays out short to Mepham. Into Ndombele, they're pressing high Villa, but we've beaten it here with Boyer. He can release one of the 2 in behind, but instead runs wide himself. Gives it away to Douglas Luiz, but wins it straight back. Campbell to Zamora. I thought he was offside anyway, but it's back to the Villa keeper. This game, honestly, it could finish about 5-all the way it's going, as Mepham gives it to Mitchell. And Ndombele. Back to Mepham. Just a little bit of concerted possession, a little bit of pressure. That's what we want to see. As Mepham picks it again to Mitchell. Not forcing it, just going sideways for now. And making Villa run after it as Tahar plays the ball that unlocks the defence into Abdul Qadir. First one's blocked, second one hits the post. And it's headed away downfield. It's cleared. Thought it was going to be a mix-up at the back for us there. But it's not. It's a free kick with Jayden Bogle to Boyer. And Tahar to Ndombele. We will make changes after this as Tyrese Campbell, not able to get in behind there. This looks a little bit unfit tonight, to be honest. The switch of place headed down by Bogle, though. Finds Campbell. And Ndombele to Lannes. He's in one-on-one. Diego Lannes chips the keeper to restore the 2-goal lead. Surely now we have to be professional and see this out. Let's make some changes. Protect the more tired legs. The next game's in 2 days' time. I don't know that they'll be fit. But it's important that we have fresh legs on to see this game out. So we are going to take off Lannes for Morcio. We're going to take off Abdul Qadir for Chris Tipple or Alam Rios. Alam Rios. And then we're also going to take off Boyer for Castrovilli. We've got 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Now let's make sure there's no more drama. As we've got a corner kick with Morcio. A fifth certainly wouldn't go amiss. Headed away at the back post to Castrovilli on the left. Inside to Ndombele. I mean, you can see what an attacking force we are. We're relentless going forward against anyone other than the top 6, really. But going back, we've just not quite got that same defensive strength as Ndombele to Campbell. Great ball for Rios. The sub's on. Surely it's tie over now. 5-2 Palace. We're on our way to the semi-finals. Now let's hope Chelsea go out because then we're probably favourites for this. We'll go and check the scores. First, though, we see another Villa highlight as they play out from left-back with Zamora. Don't know why Rios just ran out the way there, but he does get back in fairness. Watkins on, scored 2 against us last week, to Zamora. Inside to Douglas Luiz, big switch of play. Mitchell's been caught all ends up. Juninho's in. It's a good save. It's cleared away by Ndombele on the rebounds, but that's pretty poor. Let's have a quick look at the score elsewhere. It is 2-1 to Chelsea, so the favourites are still in. What we've got to do is avoid them in the semi-final. Let's get through the last 10 minutes. Well, we've got 5 subs in EFL Cup, which I keep forgetting. So I'm just going to make a couple more now. Tipple on for Campbell up front. I'm also going to take off either Tahar or Mitchell. Probably Mitchell because he's not played that well. Teo will come on at left back. We've got 7 minutes to hold out. But surely from here, it would take a miracle for us to go out of the cup. And there it is. A quiet finish to a hectic game. We went 2-0 up in quick style. We then were very fortunate, just by a hair's breadth, not to be 3-2 down at the break due to an offside. But then we came roaring back in the second half. We've got players that can make a difference, and they've done so again. Who will be fit for 3 days' time, though? We'll be back in a moment to see who faces Leicester. Well, back a day early because we've got the semi-final draw in the League Cup. Chelsea, the big boys left in it. Newcastle, money bags, but we've seen we can beat them even in the last episode. And Leeds United of the Championship, the side I'd like to face over two legs. Let's see who we get. Chelsea out first, don't be. Newcastle, which means we have got Leeds United of the Championship. And if we can beat second tier opposition over two legs, we will have a League Cup final on our hands. That could be a very big moment in this save. I want to see when the second leg is because I'd like to show that as part of an episode, but it's so close to now. We might well get the final though. What a brilliant tie and what an opportunity. Back in a moment for Leicester. Fitness test time. Diego Lainez, maybe not fully fit. That's going to be an interesting one to look at. Kamil Grabara gives us a choice to make in goal this game, doesn't it? Really, Rosic doesn't deserve to lose his space, so we might have to make a decision there. Leicester looking to get into that pack chasing us and Everton. Wolves have won to get themselves a bit closer. So this is crucial. Probably a must not lose game more than it is a must win one. We'll hope Arsenal do their job on Everton and then we'll try and get our win against Burnley on Boxing Day. So a draw would be a lovely result. The likes of Ndidi and Tielemans still at Leicester. Let's go and pick our team for the big game. Some big decisions made. Let me tell you my thinking. As strong as possible defensively and then maybe a little weaker going forward. And I don't mind going for the shorter options because I feel like we'll need the big lads against Burnley. So you can see at the bottom, Mepham completely rested and Ndombele and Tahart the same. We've also got the likes of Lainez on the bench and Tyrick Mitchell's back out as well. So the only one who's not fully fit who's starting is Boyer because he was so good in midweek that I want him to have another go. But he's only going to do an hour or so. Other big decision, Grabara in goal. Tormena's coming at centre-half. He's alongside Lenormand. Teo back in at left-back with Bogle staying on the right. Saceres in the holding role. Castrovilli in the middle. Boyer stays where he is. And in Campbell and Abdul Qadir start as always with John Morcio covering the injury on the left. So let's go and get into the big Premier League game. Anything other than a defeat, I consider this a success. Let's see if we can do it. Well, 5 changes again for us. Just the 4 for Leicester. James Justin drops out of the side, a player that's there in real life. Yanis Hadjian, the Rangers man. Harvey Barnes is there still, as well as Tielemans and Ndidi, who we mentioned. And Areola's the goalkeeper too. So, some really good players in this Leicester side. Let us go and get into the first half though. We're going to ask the lads to show how good they are. Fingers crossed we get a reaction. And look, they've defied the odds so many times this season. If we can nick that 1-goal win, if we can nick that scrappy draw, it's a great outcome for us. Let's see if we can do it. The home fans will be bouncing behind us. As we're playing out from the back early with Grabara. The Norman takes it. Has to switch sides, of course, for Tormena to be accommodated. Plays into him, though. Tormena wide to Bogle. He's got options down the line. Doesn't want to get caught by the press and doesn't. Abdul Qadir on the right gives it away. And this is the difference, isn't it? Leicester probably wouldn't have played in midweek. And indeed, he comes out to Tielemans. Big ball over the top. Well dealt with by Teo. Some of the fresh legs back there. Bogle brings it out to Lenormand. We're very narrow compared to normal. Normally, our fullbacks, particularly like wingbacks, they're playing high and wide. But not here, as Morcio gets it. Back to Teo. Big ball over the top. Tyrese Campbell, so often the magic man. That one wide of the post. He could have run in. He could have had a go. But shot from distance, it didn't work out. We're just over 25 minutes in, and of slight concern is the early yellow card for Tormena, but we'll leave that for now because we're attacking down the left. Castrovilli with a cross. Boyer loses out. Stevens can get it away. Big switch, and unfortunately we're not back quick enough. Though Saceres, really disciplined, has complained recently that he's not playing much football, and you can understand it. He was so good last year. We've just had players in form this season, and I don't feel they can be punished. Though Leicester are in possession with Ruan to Peralta. Into Tielemans. We know he's got the defence splitting pass in him, as of so many of these Leicester players. That's a good one to Barnes. On the left side of the box. Don't bring him down. Back to the edge, though. And Luka Ivanusek scores for Leicester City. 27 minutes gone. And we find ourselves behind. We're going to go and berate the lads' demand a bit more. But in truth, it's the first chance we've conceded. And we're back again at left back with Teo. If we can get ourselves level before the break, it's still a good half. Teo goes over the top to Tyrese Campbell, who beats his man. Great save, keeper. Campbell don't miss many of them, it's got to be said. So we're really unfortunate not to be level. We have dominated this match. We've conceded our only chance, and that's not enough. Boyer is knackered. It may have been a mistake to play him. Bogle at right back looking pretty similar. So I think we're going to do some half-time changes. We're going to tell the lads that the fans expect to win. Don't let them down. We haven't really got a right back on the bench, so either Bogle has to play or we have to put on a poorer centre-half. But I am going to take off Boyer, who's clearly not fit. He'll be replaced by Arthur, who barely gets a game. And Castrovilli will become the Mazzala. Not the strongest midfield we've played this season, but hopefully it's good enough to nick a point. 10 minutes gone in the second half. It's Jayden Bogle down the right, playing a 1-2 with Sacerez into the back post. Morcio loses out. Tielemans heads clear. We're struggling for fitness out here. Abdul Kadir knackered. I'm going to replace him with Alan Rios, but Castrovilli at the byline. Into Tyrese Campbell. Great save again. Unbelievable goalkeeping from Leicester's number 1. And it's cleared downfield for Jayden Bogle. Rios will come on. And Campbell will probably be next, in fairness. I could take off Morcio because he's not had a good game. And put Campbell out wide. I don't think Rios or him can play on the left, which is a slight issue. In fact, Campbell can't. So do you know what we're going to do? Tyrese Campbell out to the left. We're going to take Morcio off for Chris Tipple. Let's go as attacking as we can. 2 strikers on. See if we can nick a point. Well, 5 to go. And it looks like we're about to be FM'd. 16 shots, 10 on target. Leicester, 1 shot, 1 on target. We've gone attacking, but nothing's happened. The ultimate FMing has occurred. Leicester had a second shot just to ruin it at the end. But it is Crystal Palace 0, Leicester City 1. There was fatigue there in the legs going forward. And to be fair, there was a pretty remarkable goalkeeping display too. It wasn't all our fault. But a defeat nonetheless, it didn't quite work out. We're in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, but it's come at a cost in the league. Thankfully, we play against 19th place Burnley next. We've rested a fair few legs today. So I'm hopeful that we'll be in good shape for that one. Everton battered at Arsenal, so we're actually gaining goal difference. And Wolves and Leicester still at arm's length at the moment, not quite close enough to be troubling. Let's have a look at the schedule then for when we're next going to be back. I know it's a big Carabao Cup semi-final, but we're playing a championship side. It should be fairly comfortable. And what I'll actually do, because of where the fixtures are scheduled, is play my first team for those two and rest people in the FA Cup. And hopefully that'll pay off if we can get to the final and win it. So I hope the next Carabao Cup game on camera will be the final. If it's very tight or there's anything edgy, I'll obviously come back for it. But the plan is, transfer deadline day coincides with the Liverpool match in the league. It comes straight after away games at City and Chelsea, which are going to be incredibly difficult. And although we're looking down at the moment in the table to try and stay above Everton and that, we are still level on points with Liverpool, albeit they've got a game in hand. So it could be a very crucial game if their new manager bounce wears off, in potentially trying to nick 6th place rather than looking down at 8th and 9th. But we will be back for transfer deadline day and Liverpool at home in the Premier League. Let me know in the comments what you think should be the priority. For me, it has to be the League Cup. A chance to win a trophy and guarantee Europe does not come along that often. And to play your 2-legged semi-final against a championship team is even more fortunate, I would argue. Of course, there are players leaving the club in January. We know Bartos is leaving in midfield, so where do you think Dougie should strengthen? If you did enjoy the episode though, a great cup win and disappointment in the league, but not in terms of performance, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. As I mentioned earlier, if you haven't seen yesterday's Hemel episode, it is a must-watch. Please do give it a go up in the eye above. We'll be back here in 2 days' time. We've got a big game to come and hopefully some transfer news too. And you can also find up there the latest videos from the Food channel, from the Football podcast and from the Twitch channel for regular live streams. But thank you very much for watching. Your continued support as always. We've got a realistic chance at a trophy here. We're in the 8th season and I'm crossing my fingers it might be able to happen. I'll see you next time to find out if we've got any closer.